Red October. It's alive. It's back. I'm so excited. We got so much to talk about today. We got Red October, the Phillies winning game one of the wild card round last night in front of 45,000 plus down in South Philly. Eagles. We got lots actually Eagles. I got a lot of Eagles thoughts on my mind that we're going to get into today. Sixers, James Harden might show up today. Just even saying it gives me a headache. Man, I don't even know if I want to talk about it. Trading the AM, we're live with your comments and your thoughts right here on Philadelphia Sports Network in 30 seconds. Fourth and goal. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Training the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. Hit those like, share, retweet, follow buttons. It don't cost a thing. It's free to do it. So just help algorithm, help this great morning show, help us build this program by hitting that like button, that share button, the subscribe button. It means a great deal to me. Training in the AM. It's the only morning show in Philadelphia where your opinions actually matter. And they do here, as we've got so much on the agenda. We got Phillies playoffs. We got Eagles. And my power rankings this week, which are sure to piss somebody off. And then we've got Sixers. And James Harden, rumors are he's going to just randomly show up today. Missed media day, missed first day of practice, but I'm just going to show up today. So much to talk about. Eagles made a big signing yesterday. And of course, like I said, Phillies in front of 45,000 plus down at Citizens Bank Park proved that they're a damn good baseball team that can win many different ways, pitching, hitting, defense even, and even despite a third base coach. So lots to get into. Make sure you hit those like buttons. Let's go through the first. Adam chiming in right away. Nice win by the Phillies. Wheeler dominated. He did. Big money pitcher shows up to pitch in a big money game. That's what I love. No Niners talk today. Well, they are in my power ranking, so we might have to mention the 49ers at one point. I will be good. I'll wait all day for Sunday night, and everyone thinks it's okay to put Daniel Jones at court. Yeah, look, Daniel Jones, man. That's something. Roby, clutch. Yeah, the Eagles signed Bradley Roby, former top-tier cornerback, about 31-ish, new slot corner. We got lots to get into with that, and our thoughts on that. Phillies, easy peasy. It was pretty easy. It was only a 3-1 game. It felt like it should have been a 7-1 victory for our Fighting Phils last night, 8-1, something like that. And they cruised yesterday. It really never felt like a concern whatsoever yesterday for the Phillies. Zach Wheeler dominated. We got timely hitting when needed. We left some runs out on the base pass with some bad base running or bad base coaching. Bullpen did their thing and shut the door. Jose Alvarado, Jeff Hoffman, who would have thought? And then Craig Kimbrell comes in and closes the game out in the ninth. Baseball-wise, Phillies-wise, I think the biggest, most important topic isn't even the team. It's the Philadelphia Phillies fans and the Philadelphia fans in general. I mean, the announcers last night it almost sounded like they were shocked at how loud the bank was and how loud Philly fans were and how passionate they were. There was one of the playoff games yesterday that had 19,000 fans in the stands for it. We packed that stadium yesterday. There's a reason why it was the first wild card game, and they were going for hundreds of dollars of tickets on the secondary market. There was one of the games you could get for $7 yesterday. That would never happen in Philly. And I don't think enough credit, because all anybody thinks of when they talk about Philly sports fans, it's that one Eagles fan that threw snowballs at Santa. It's that one drunk fan that threw a battery at J.D. Drew. It's like we've got this bad rap. But then when you put us on the national stage like last night, and somebody got a quote from somebody at ESPN, I forget where I read it yesterday. The reason why the Eagles or the Phillies are the 8 p.m. game all 3 days this week if they need 3 games is because the Philly games last year in the wild card and all the playoffs of baseball were the highest rated baseball games of all playoffs last year in baseball. Why? Because Phillies fans are passionate. Philly fans are passionate, and we're not the assholes that people think we are. And it's kind of crazy. Like once you get on the national stage and you hear the announcers call Ravaging Company last night, they're like shocked. Like they shouldn't be shocked. They're vets. They should know what they're talking about. It's a passionate fan base. And last night was a great way for Philadelphia to show what we really, really are. Um, Huge crowd, night game, exciting baseball only in October. Man, there's something about October baseball, man. It's magical. It really is. Marshawn, what's up, my man? How do you think Harden will make the Sixers uncomfortable? Is he going to spill Gatorade on the court? Man, you go from the positives of the Phillies faithful and a great night like last night to today, we've got to worry about whether James Harden is going to show up to make the Sixers feel uncomfortable. And Marshawn, I don't know if you remember this. I'm pretty damn positive. I spent 1 or 2 shows discussing this exact topic about like 2, 3 months ago, before we were doing football every day, during the beginning of the James Harden saga with his contract and stuff like that. I said, this doesn't get resolved, he is going to make this uncomfortable. He's going to not show up, then show up, then cause a distraction, then this and that. I discussed this very scenario that's supposed to happen today. I discussed it early in the offseason. And now we are here on October 4th, second full practice of camp, and he might show up and start the distraction. And the rumors of him doing it are probably pretty accurate. He's doing it to try to force Daryl Morey's hand. There's a difference, though, between Daryl Morey and James Harden. James Harden he does things on emotion and overreaction. Daryl Morey does things calculated and as a business. Daryl Morey's not going to. Daryl Morey will make James Harden sit out the entire year if he has to. That's just what Daryl Morey is. He don't care what James Harden says and does all day, all year. I'm just going to recommend maybe Ben Simmons can shoot James Harden a text message and say, don't bring your cell phone to practice. Because that probably won't go over well. Just like it did for him under Doc Rivers. We can always talk about the Phillies, but I'm really curious as to how Harden will make things uncomfortable. Well, him showing up. See, we're on the same page with the cell phone joke there for sure, Marshawn. How's he going to make it uncomfortable? By him just showing up. They just spent the last 2 days talking about how he's not going to be there and how we're just going to get on without him until a trade happens. And Daryl Morey even said, I'm going to try to make the trade. It's just we're waiting for the right deal. Now he's going to show up, maybe be at practice, maybe try to disrupt practice a little bit. And how does Nick Nurse coach this team knowing that James Harden might be there some days, might not be there other days? Guarantee he's going to show up to practice, and all of a sudden he's going to have a hamstring issue. And I can't practice anymore. I'm here, but I can't play. My hamstring's bad. He's going to have that phantom hamstring injury for the next 3 months. Sixers can block his free agency too. Yeah, I mean, Daryl Morey is going to play hardball here. It is what it is. So no Yankees or Red Sox. I cannot imagine or remember the last time I did not see the Yankees or the Red Sox in the playoffs of baseball. Mitch Adder. What is up, Peanut? I know Peanut is not happy with my NFL power rankings. Peanut cannot wait for me to bring up that topic of my power rankings, and he's an idiot for where he thinks the Philadelphia Eagles should be. Apparently, Miami wasn't happy with Jimmy's antics on media day. You want to do a quick swap, Marshawn? You want to swap Jimmy Butler for James Harden? I mean, sure, why not? But Jimmy Butler's becoming quite the diva as well. I think Jimmy Butler always was the diva, but now he's a little bit bigger of a diva than he was before. Never thought I would say this. More Philly, less 76ers. Mad Chatter wants Phillies talk over Sixers talk. We're going to get back to Sixers. We're going to get back to the Phillies. I want to get started with some football talk. I got Peanut in the comments, so I gotta talk football for him because I know he's going to hate this. We're going to do a quick share screen here. So put up my power rankings on the screen for everybody to see. Here are the power rankings and where I've got our Philadelphia Eagles so far. At number 1 on the power rankings, yes, Homer. Call me Homer if you will. Hold on, what we got here, Marshawn? Phil, I would give up Furkan as well. Furkan breakout season incoming, Marshawn. Don't you worry. The Turkish MJ is going to average more points this year than last. He's going to get some minutes this year. I was hoping your power rankings was clickbait. They are not clickbait, Peanut. Not at all. And I got something else on the Eagles I want to talk about for anybody that's down on this Eagles team. Why I don't think we should be. But my power rankings are as follows. Top portion of it. So I think it's top four. We got to start with the top four. Eagles, 49ers. You could go 49ers one. You can go Eagles two if you wanted to. I put the Eagles one last week to kind of be funny, but then they won again, so I can't bump them down after a win. They're the defending NFC champions. They're one of the two only undefeated teams through 4 weeks. Eagles 4-0, I think, is actually a very fair statement. Okay. The 49ers also undefeated. I mean, they've actually won their games pretty dominantly throughout this year so far. That you can easily make the statement that they're the best team in football. Bills, Chiefs, 3-4. They got losses. I can't put them ahead of the Eagles or the 49ers because they have the one loss on their resumes. That's the only reason. But the Bills and Chiefs are head and shoulders the class of the AFC as well, in my opinion. So I think it's Eagles, 49ers, Bills, Chiefs. That's how I start them out. Surprise, surprise. Phil got the Birds at 1 for no apparent reason. Well, they're the defending champs. They're 4-0, and they have. Going 4-0 is not as hard as easy as it sounds. It doesn't matter. Best I will do is 4. No, I am not putting one-loss teams ahead of undefeated teams after 4 weeks. If you want to say a 1-1 team ahead of a 2-0 team, because 4 games in, we know this team, they're undefeated. So, Turkish Bullet will average 20 high fives per game. I like it. I like it. Eagles at 2 for me, but I'm not mad at it. Yeah, I don't think putting the Eagles at 1 is as insane as people think. 49ers top 5, what in the world? 49ers are probably the best team in football right now, honestly. That's what I'm talking about. You like those numbers, right? You like that ranking there. 49ers can't be an AFC team. Well, they're 4-0 right now, so that's all that matters. Giants, Rams, Cardinals, and whatever other team stink team 49ers beat. They have had an easy schedule. Peanut saying 49ers, Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills. You're considering how you can even consider putting the Cowboys on the same level of the Eagles when the Cowboys lost to the Arizona Cardinals is beyond me. The Bills just got smoked by over 25 points, or the Dolphins did, by the Bills. How you could put them ahead of the Bills, beyond me. The Chiefs are a great team, but they looked shaky against the Jets on Sunday night or Monday night, whenever that game was. So there's an argument to be made against the Chiefs, Dolphins, and Bills, all ahead of the Eagles here. And there's damn well an argument to be made to put them ahead of the Cowboys. Beating cheeks every week. You got, if you win, you win. You can't put 4-0 teams further down the list. You can't. 49ers schedule has been a cakewalk. It has been. And I'm going to get into the Eagles' schedule in a minute because I think there's something about the schedule that people are overlooking a little bit. Eagles offense played some really tough defenses. Absolutely. The Buccaneers, very tough defense. Washington, very tough defense. They put up 34 against a Washington defense. It's very strong. The Buccaneers were averaging 54 yards a game on the ground, and we had 6,000 yards on the ground in that game. Cowboys versus 49ers. That's not the Thursday night football game this week, is it? I thought it was Bears Washington. Peanut is tripping. Just wait. He thinks it's bad now in the comment section. I'm going on his show Thursday night. Birds, Beer, and BS. And I'm going to call his BS out on his show too, without a doubt. Well, Christian McCaffrey is not good. Well, CMC is the best running back in football. Let's just be honest. Phil, what's good? What's happening, Reality Check? How you doing? I hope you're well. Look, these power rankings in my mind, and we're going to put them back up on the screen in a bit. I'm just going to stop the share screen so you can see my pretty face a little bit more again. Everybody's complaining that this Eagles team doesn't look great like last year. But what did the Eagles team really look like last year? So far this year, we're 4-0. Sure. We beat the Patriots to open the season. We beat the Vikings, Bucks, and obviously Washington. Do we forget that last year we barely beat Detroit week 1? Do we forget we barely beat Jacksonville week 4? We were 4-0 last year. And we only had 2 dominant wins against Minnesota and Washington in week 2 and 3. We barely beat Arizona in week 5. It took a field goal with less than 2 minutes left to get to 5-0. We barely beat the Colts. We barely beat Houston last year. Nobody was complaining last year about the way this team was winning. Do we forget about that Detroit game or that Colts game? I mean, last year it was like, oh, all high and mighty. We're winning. We're 8-0. We're 9-1. Whatever we are, that's great. This year we're 4-0. Nah, we can't be happy about it. That, like, I know I've been harsh on this team, and I'm finding the reasons that this team needs to, the things that are wrong that need to get better. But they're still 4-0. And last year we weren't complaining about them being 4-0, even though 2 of those 4 wins were nail biters. 3 of the first 5 wins were nail biters. How big of a gap between Christian McCaffrey and DeAndre Swift? Well, there's a talent gap there for sure. CMC is the best, but there's also the injury history with CMC, just like DeAndre Swift, if not a bigger injury history with CMC. But Christian McCaffrey is just, I mean, the way he does things, the way he finds holes, the way he runs, I mean, he's pretty unbelievable. Bro, we barely beat all the teams we played. We beat the Bucks by 14. I mean, the Bucks had a great defense, and we basically shut them down. I think we have better football to play, but as of right now, we deserve the 4th. No, I disagree firmly. And it's not. Like, if you want to say they're number 2 behind the 49ers, sure. But the other teams have lost games. Some of them very bad games. Some of them had close games and games they should have won handily. So I don't want to hear that it's love goggles, because that's not what it is. It's honestly realizing that wins matter in the NFL, and they've got more wins than anybody else. They have taken care of business. They've had poorly played games and still found ways to win. Some of those teams we just played and we beat were playoff teams last year or are borderline playoff teams this year. The Bucks might win their division this year, and we took care of them. Minnesota won 12, 13 games last year. Pretty much the same team. Washington, the division rival. They were 2-1. Now they're 2-2. Great defense. I don't understand. Like, last year, we struggled worse last year in some of these games. Yet everybody was high and mighty on this team for some reason. Now, this year, they're not blowing them out of the water. So now what? And it's not even like we have pretty much the same amount of rushing yards a game as last year. We have the same. We are literally a better team than we were last year. But it doesn't look flashy. Last year, we didn't start out flashy. It took a while to get going. Yet this year, it's a problem. This year's schedule, a million times harder. The Eagles' schedule is so much harder this year. 2022, 4-0 with a shaky defense. 2023, 4-0 with shaky pass coverage. We're actually a better defense this year with injuries than we were last year because our front 4 is even better. We got pass coverage issues, but Howie Roseman has started the addressing of that. We're going to get into Bradley Roby in a second. I want to catch up on some comments here. CMC makes his own holes. He is amazing. Yeah, he's one running back that, eliminates that running back doesn't matter because he does so much else. More people have to be like Christian McCaffrey if they want to get paid. Be able to block, to be able to pass block, be able to catch out of the backfield and whatnot. If the division wasn't so close, then being 4-0 would be great. One game may determine if we even make the playoffs. As of this moment, we are first place in the division. So I don't know what there is to complain about with this Eagles team, in the sense of them not being one of, if not the best team, not just in the NFC, in the whole NFL, because they're winning. Dallas didn't win all 4 of their games. Dallas croaked against a freaking tanking team. Arizona is trying to lose every game, and Dallas lost to them. Arizona had what kind of a big lead? I think it was against the Giants. And the Giants, led by Daniel Jones, were able to come back because Arizona is trying to tank. Get the Cowboys lost, and you're trying to put the Cowboys on the same level of the Philadelphia Eagles? Get out of here. No way. No way, shape, or form. Winning is winning. I don't care by a little or a mile. No one cares. Yeah, like, we all look back that the Eagles made the Super Bowl. But is anybody going back and looking at the individual games and which ones were close and which ones weren't? No. They're just saying that we won 14 games last year, and Jalen Hurts is 21-1 in his last 22 regular season starts. They're not looking at individual games. So why are we so focused on individual games and, you know, well, we didn't quite beat them well enough. We didn't throw 300 yards every game. Come on. It's hard to win in the NFL. That's why we're in week 4 and there's only two undefeated teams. Why? Because it's damn hard to win in the NFL. So I don't want to hear it right now. Now the Eagles could go out and lose next week. Just say they do, and yeah, I'll knock them down a peg on my power rankings if they do. But right now, after 4 weeks of football, they're the only one of the only two undefeated teams. They have to be one or two. Now you could say one is homers, and you want to put the 49ers one. Sure, I'll accept that. But if anybody wants to put any other team other than the 49ers ahead of the Eagles, they're lying to themselves. Under Phil logic, Colorado best because they play community college. Dude, you can't compare college to pros. All right, big difference there. Can the Eagles beat the Dolphins? Well, that'll be the conversation next week. As of right now, it'll be a close game. Depends on how healthy both teams are. Is Waddle back? Do we have our guys back? We'll see when we get to that. But it's going to be a close game, and it's going to be a major measuring stick. But sure, we can beat the Dolphins. Tua hasn't played against a defense. Well, they did play against a good defense last week against Buffalo, and Tua got shut down. It's going to be a tough one. But I'm not gonna say the Eagles don't have a chance. Allow me. We will see. Cowboys suck. Yes, they do. They are top 5, no question. No, you put them tied for top 5 with the Cowboys. First off, so you didn't say that. There's a question in your mind whether they're top 5. You want to put them 2? Sure. But the Chiefs and Bills have lost games. The Eagles have not. You can't do it. Not through 4 weeks. No, 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 no. No, you can't. You put them tied with the Cowboys, Peanut, in your list. That is a no. Plain and simple. You can't do it. Our fan base is honestly the worst. I start the show off talking about how great our fan base is with the Phillies, and now we're already into how our fan base is the worst. It's hilarious. Hilarious how quickly the tides change. Number 1 in the division, number 1 in the NFL. And it's the number 1 division in the NFL. Your power rankings are our toughest teams. Look, power rankings are very subjective. Let's be honest. They're very subjective. It's all opinion. There's no right or wrong answer. There isn't. AFC full of powerhouses. The AFC is full of powerhouses, without a doubt. When a team like the Bengals are 1-3, that you know something. Better defense this year, but that pass coverage just isn't effective. Well, we're caught up on comments. So to address the pass coverage, Bradley Roby was signed yesterday to the practice squad for now. He'll probably get bumped up from the practice squad. Well, he will get bumped up on Sunday against the Rams. But on the flip side, he'll eventually be part of the active roster as long as he's fine. I kind of forgot who Bradley Roby was for a second. Like I had to do a Google search, and then I remembered he was one of those top slot corners years ago. He was not very good last year. We're going to say that to start with. Not very good last year. But he's older. He's a veteran. He's been around the league. He had quite a few suitors because at one point he was really good. I'm getting very, very high Linville Joseph, Ndamukong Suh vibes from Bradley Roby. Veteran presence being brought in the middle of the season to solidify a spot that had an injury. Last year we had Jordan Davis go down. We bring those 2 guys in. And while neither of those guys played exceptional last year, they both were vital parts in the team getting better and solidifying a hole. Bradley Roby is going to do the same thing. He is going to instantly slot into the slot. James Bradbury is going to be able to go back outside where he belongs. You're not going to have to worry about Josh Joby covering Tyreek Hill in 2 weeks against Miami. You're not going to have to worry about Josh Joby covering Cooper Kupp if he plays this week. That's a major win for Howie Roseman. Addressing a need, bringing in a veteran that's had some great experience in the NFL, has played in big games before, and you get him for the rest of the year. A very, very smart move. Now, is it enough? No. Last year, we brought in 2 defensive tackles to fill Jordan Davis when he went down. And they ended up playing huge roles, and Jordan Davis, when he got healthy, was never really able to see the field much again. Well, we fixed the slot position. Now we need to fix the safety position. Does Howie Roseman have another move up his sleeve today? I don't know. But he needs to continue addressing the second. The one move alone isn't enough. Good morning, John. How you doing, man? I retired to Alabama. Can you please send me the links you have to watch the Eagles? I will, John. I'm not sure if we're friends on Facebook. Send me a friend request on Facebook, John. If we're not, or send me a DM on Facebook or on Twitter if you're on Twitter, and I will send you the link that I use. Because I guarantee I won't remember that email address by the end of the show. Send me a message on Facebook or YouTube, my man. Can Eagles best all other teams? Then they number one. We'll see. We have two press cover all pro cornerbacks, and we play them 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's the way the NFL is going. There's a lot more off ball, defense than there is press coverage. But I really love to see it happen occasionally. Really would, dude. You all Eagles fans crack me up with who panics at 4-0. Who panics at 4-0 exactly? And winning playing like crap. Imagine what we would look if we were 2-2. We'd be crapping all over his team justifiably. But 4-0, and we're going to call them the fifth or sixth best team in the NFL. Get out of here. I know you didn't mean me. I saw this before, just so you know. Great move getting Bradbury back to cornerback. Still need a safety. Yes, we do. Just think about it. We're 4-0. We've won some close games. We've had some easy games. We're one of only two undefeated teams, yet we've lost our starting slot corner for the year, James Bradbury. Just think about all the guys that have missed time already. And we're still 4-0. Just think about that. Just think about it. Top four. Well, we're top two. Top two. Jeremy Chin, I know he's going to be. Jeremy Chin has become the new Buda Baker. More people are calling for Jeremy Chin than Buda Baker now, obviously because of IR and whatnot. All right, let me put the power rankings back up on the screen for a second. I didn't go through the rest of them, so let me put them back up on the screen here real quick. So obviously Eagles, 49ers, Bills, Chiefs. Then I put the Ravens 5. Their defense is just so good. Lamar Jackson has questions from time to time, but they're just so good, the Ravens defense. So, and Lamar Jackson, when he's on, he's on. Dolphins at 6, Cowboys at 7. I thought about flip-flopping Dolphins and Cowboys there. Dolphins really, really pissed me off the way they lost on Sunday to Buffalo. I know they weren't the I know the 70 point team from the week before was not going to be sustainable. But I thought they were better than that. And their defense giving up 40 plus points, 45 plus points to Buffalo really annoyed me. Cowboys at 7. I really thought to piss off Cowboys fans and even put them below the Lions. But after their one bad loss, they came back with a big win. So that's good. Lions winning again. Buccaneers defense is great. Baker Mayfield is doing an admirable job back there. The loss of Mike Evans, I'm not sure how long Mike Evans is going to be out for, but he's going to be out for a week. That's going to be a problem. And the Seahawks. Seahawks are a really good football team again. I said they had to prove something to me, considering, I didn't know if Geno Smith was the real deal or not. But, it's something to keep an eye on there with those Seahawks. So nobody is panicking. Just I don't see the way y'all see it. Mad Chatter gets it. No. Mad Chatter don't get any credit. Don't you dare be putting mad credit on the Mad Chatter. Waiting on that Jeremy Chin news, that worried. That might not be enough because of his coverage package. I don't know. Chiefs 3. You can put the Chiefs 3 over the Bills if you want. And you want to put the Bills 4, that's fine by me. There's no way you can put the Dolphins at number 2. Not the way they got smoked. Why is Shawn Michaels trending? I have no idea. Let's find out. Let's change this shared screen real quick. Trending. I don't even see Shawn Michaels' name on the trending thing. So I don't know what you're looking at, but he ain't trending under sports. Oh, there he is. He is trending right there. Let's see. Let's click on that. Yeah, it just looks like highlights, things, news. His name just a lot of people are just sharing Shawn Michaels stuff. That's all it is, which is good. So nothing bad happened to him. That's all that matters, right? So that's good. All right, power rankings back up on the screen there. Mad Chatter is a Bills fan now, exactly, and he put the Chiefs and Dolphins ahead of the Bills. Legitly hilarious. The Bills did just have a big win as well. So it's really hilarious. Look, this is not an attack Peanut show. I'm not trying to attack Mr. Peanut. I'm not. We're just going to call him Mr. Peanut now too. But were we panicking like this last year? Were we panicking when the Eagles barely beat Detroit? Yeah, we were. Were we panicking last year when we barely beat the Cardinals, Jacksonville? No. We were saying, "Oh, we're 5-0, we're 4-0, we're 7-0, we're 9-1." When I thought back and looked at last year's schedule and how many close games there were, and how many games were blowouts, and we let the team back into it, it really refreshed my memory and my mind on what's really important. And wins are what's important. All that's important is getting the number one seed in the NFC. Home field advantage through the link. That's all that matters. Win pretty, win ugly. It don't matter. Wins are wins. That is all that matters. And I think you've got to put respect. It's not just wins that matter. It's the fact that you've got to put respect on any NFL football team that can go 4-0 to start a season. There's a reason why only two teams. All these other teams that you say are better than the Eagles, to everybody that says they're not number one, all these other teams have lost football games because it's near impossible to go undefeated for the first 4 weeks. Most of these teams, their quarterbacks didn't play in the preseason. They've got excuses why they lost games. They got injuries. They got this. They got that. The Eagles have all those same excuses. And guess what? They took care of business 4 weeks in a row. That's all that matters. They are a game up on everybody else other than the 49ers. Marshawn. But if they, yeah, I'm so far behind now, I don't even remember what we were talking about there in the comments. Eagles fan base always panic. Absolutely. You dropped this king. Please give Peanut his crown back. No. He's got the championship belt. That's all that matters. Mr. Peanut, we just two friends that have a disagreement. I'm right and my brother is wrong. That's it. Oh, my God. Peanut, do you not hear what I'm saying? You want to put the Chiefs ahead of them? Well, the Chiefs couldn't take care of business all 4 weeks. And they had the same excuses the Eagles do. You want to put the Bills ahead of the Eagles? Well, they couldn't take care of business. You want to put the Cowboys on the same level as the Eagles? Not only they could not take care of business, they got embarrassed. It is near impossible to go 4-0 in the NFL. Hence why there's only two teams. You got to put respect on those two teams, no matter how the wins came, no matter who the opponents were. They say on any given Sunday, any team can win and any team can lose. Well, the Eagles have taken care of business 4 weeks in a row and hopefully will again this week. Now, if they don't, we'll have that discussion on Monday. But right now, we know that the Eagles are 4-0 and the Philadelphia Eagles have taken care of business. Peanut would rather be a Dolphins fan right now. Well, everybody would rather be in Miami. Cover Kelsey. I think Eagles could beat Chiefs. Go to 3. Look, we're not talking about what will happen. We're talking about what we have right now. Power rankings are up to this minute, not looking into the future. Right now, the Eagles are better than the Chiefs because they've taken care of business 4 weeks in a row. The Chiefs have not. I bet Bradley Roby, I have to keep looking, will be the next Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or Malcolm Jenkins. Saints Gems. Travis, I don't know. I don't remember Robbie much because it's been so long since he's been elite. I mean, I think there was a point. My nose is itching a lot today. Doesn't that mean I'm going to get in a fight or something? Peanut, are you coming to my house today? Because I feel like I'm itching a lot here in the nose. He wasn't very good from what I read last year. Now I don't have the PFF grades. Not that we really trust them 100% or whatnot, but I'm hoping. I'm not expecting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or Malcolm Jenkins level production. I'm expecting Ndamukong Suh, Linville Joseph, where they solidify the back end of the defense, where they're not the main guys, but they're contributors. That's what I'm hoping for out of Robbie. That kind of performance from him. Beat Dolphins, go to. Stop. Birds beat LA and the Cowgirls get their ass kicked by San Francisco. Birds 5-0, Cowgirls 3-2. Yeah. And guess what? And there'll still be people arguing that the Eagles aren't good enough. If the Eagles go 5-0, and then people still disagree with me. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Real quick, we're going to do a quick reset here. It is 8:30, 35 minutes into the show. You're watching Trending in the AM on Philadelphia Sports Network. I am Phil Stiefel. Shoot me a follow on all social media platforms at Beard and Knowledge, Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever. We got 16 likes on YouTube, 6 on Facebook. Make sure you're hitting that like button. It really helps. Make sure you hit the share button, subscribe, follow. It does not cost a thing to do those things, and it would greatly help the show out if you clicked all those buttons for me. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. I'm ready for the Cowboys to lose badly to the Niners. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they played well. The Cowboys are a good team. They just took their eye off the ball 1 week against a very bad Cardinals team. The Cowboys are still a very good team, hence why they're number 7 in my power rank. They're still a damn good football team. They're the best one-loss team in the NFC. So they're the 4th best one-loss team in the NFL. But they have lost. So, would it surprise me if it's a blowout? No. But it also wouldn't surprise me if it's a close, hard-fought game. It really wouldn't. But it's a big measuring stick for the Cowboys for sure. The only Robbie I acknowledge is Marco. Yeah, I mean, we all acknowledge her. I got you all hot and bothered. You don't got me hot and bothered. When we discuss this face-to-face, have a drink in hand. Tomorrow night, I will definitely have a drink in hand. Today's drink of choice this morning is a cup of coffee. Nighttime, 6:30, Thursday, Birds Beer and BS. There will be some kind of adult beverage in hand. Eagles fans down on the Nolan pick. We kind of touched on that a little bit yesterday. I'm not down on it. Some people are, just because he's not getting used. But the pick was meant to be a long-term thing, not a short-term, instant, gratification type thing. So there's no reason to be down on him just yet. I think this weekend should solidify the 49ers at 1. But if the Cowboys win, does your list change? If the Cowboys win this week and the Eagles win this week, the Eagles will stay at number 1. The 49ers will get bumped down. Depends on how they lose to the Cowboys, how far down they fall, and also what happens with the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens and whatnot. But yeah, of course the list changed. Except the Eagles will still be at number 1. Now, if the Eagles lose, the Eagles will fall down my list for sure. But as of this moment, they haven't, so I can't. Where is the link for Peanut Stream? I'll put it on Twitter, AAT Sports Network, all authentic sports talk or something like that. AAT Sports Network. It's on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. Just type in Birds, Beer, and BS, and you'll probably find it. Eagles never get any love, but we're used to it. Mad Chatter needs to wake up and get off the bus. Hey, I'm not going to tell him to get off the bus because then he wouldn't comment on the show anymore, and I need him to comment on the show. All his comments do help the algorithm for sure. That's all we care about here is building that algorithm. So, again, like I said, hit the like buttons and stuff. Smith is still recovering from injury. Well, he's been playing a few more snaps here and there. And if he was so injured, Marshawn, he wouldn't be playing at all. Just going to put it in that sense of the terms for you there. He wouldn't be playing at all if he was still injured. But there's just no room on the team for him. He's getting a few snaps a game. What are you going to do? Are you going to take snaps away from Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat? No. Nicholas Morrow's playing great. He can't play middle linebacker anyway. I guess you could take a snap or two away from Zach Cunningham, but Zach Cunningham has been solid as can be at the off-ball linebacker. Maybe you could take 1 or 2 snaps away from Brandon Graham, but where does Nolan Smith fit in to get more snaps? That's the problem. That's why he was a long-term draft choice. Someone brought in with and that's the thing. Everybody sees how he does year to year to keep this team competitive, but they forget about all the things he does to keep this team competitive long term. Nolan Smith was a long-term competitive, draft choice. So I don't expect much out of Nolan this year. I never expected much out of him this year. What is Batman without his villain? Yeah, well, you're all my villains. You're all my villains. I'm Batman, and you guys are villains. I'm more like the Arrow. You have failed this city. Wasn't Nolan injured? He was. But if it was still so bad, he wouldn't be playing special teams. He wouldn't be playing the plays he's playing. Yeah, it does remind a little bit of Jordan Davis as well. And it's hard to play the defensive line as a rookie, which makes what Jalen Carter has done so far through 4 weeks so much more impressive. It's so hard to succeed as a rookie on the defensive line. It's so hard to crack a deep rotation like the Eagles have, yet Jalen Carter is dominating. And that's something special right there. Like that just says a lot right there in and of itself. Um, he would just be rich emo kid. Um, Nola shows up tonight. We win. If not, who pitches game 3? Back to the fighting Phils. I talked about it on my Phillies special episode that I did a couple last week. Aaron Nola's the wild card, John. He's the wild card of the wild card. Aaron Nola's got big money on the line. Does he get a $200+ million contract this offseason or a $100 million contract this offseason? Tonight's the first step for him. If he can come up big, and people crush Aaron Nola, but let's not forget, before the World Series, Aaron Nola was our best pitcher last year. Through the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, he dominated last year. Man, if we can get him to dominate again this year, A, it makes him a lot of money. B, we cruise to the World Series again. Starting pitcher game 3, if we lose tonight, which I don't think we do, I think the Phillies win tonight. We'll make a prediction at the end of the show. If the Phillies lose tonight, I would assume I thought it would be Ranger Suarez, but the fact that they put Taijuan Walker on the roster makes me think it'll be him. I don't like that idea, but it's probably the way it'll go. Nakobe Dean being benched by Morrow. I don't think it's one game. If it's one game, look, I've said it a few times now this week that it's going to be very hard for Sean Desai, Nick Sirianni to bench Nicholas Morrow. I think there's 2 more games before Nakobe Dean can come back. I don't know if it's the Dolphins game or the Jets game. One of those 2 games he can come back. If Nicholas Morrow goes out and balls out again this week, I don't expect 3 sacks every week from Nicholas Morrow. But even the week before, he still played damn well, making tackles when needed, especially in the run. There's a couple questionable decisions in the pass coverage, but playing well. A guy that I didn't even think was practice squad, worthy. You can't bench him for Nakobe Dean. You just can't. You just can't. What? Oh wait. Why wouldn't Walker be on for the wild card round? Because there's only 3 games, Marshawn. And if you got Ranger Suarez also, I was really surprised that you didn't need Taijuan Walker this round, and he's been struggling. Maybe you give him this round off. You could have brought. I was surprised Michael Lorenzen wasn't on this roster for the playoffs. At least he could go some bullpen innings in a tough situation. But Taijuan Walker was not a lock to make the playoff roster for the first round. He will definitely be starting one of the games in the best of 5 or best of 7 series. But I did not think he would make this roster for this round because they can change by year 2. Nolan will be great like any. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. I agree with you on that. Rotate Dean. Yeah, you're going to have to. You can't bench Nakobe Dean, but you also can't bench Nicholas Morrow. So the answer is it's probably going to be a rotation at first every game, and then whoever it's just like he does the hot hand with the running back. It's going to be the hot hand at linebacker. I mean, pretty much. Nola worries me. He better show up. If not, his last 2 starts of the season were very good, and for a majority of the playoffs last year, he was really good. So, and it's a big moment. He knows there's so much pressure on Aaron Nola tonight, not just for the Phillies and this game and this series, but for his future, his livelihood, the money he's going to get paid. Raised wrecked. Yeah, I didn't watch any other baseball yesterday. I'll be honest. Yeah, I mean the Taijuan Walker thing was more of a, because you could. It's not like football. You set the roster for the playoffs. Like in baseball, you could change your roster every single round. So the Taijuan Walker, I just didn't. I thought you'd go with the extra bullpen arm and one less guy because you can't really. Taijuan Walker's not a bullpen guy. He's never done it. You can't bring him in the 6th inning for 1 inning. He's just not used to that. So I was kind of surprised. How can you say Morrow's playing well when the defense gave up 34 points at home? The middle linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. That's an interesting comment. It is. There's a lot of reasons why we gave up all those points. Mister Nicholas Morrow was not one of them. You could blame it on the secondary. You could blame it on the safeties. You could blame it on the defensive schemes. You could blame it on a lot of things. But I think Nicholas Morrow played really well. I mean, Washington picked our secondary apart. And I did say he wasn't great in pass coverage, but he was great stopping the run, great getting in the backfield and getting after the quarterback. I mean, he led the team. He was second on the team in tackles with 11 tackles. Um, and so you know, you could blame the defense as a whole or see where our strengths and where our weaknesses. Obviously, that's why they went out and got Bradley Roby yesterday because it wasn't Nicholas Morrow's fault that we gave up 31 points. It was 31. Um, Morrow is really good. Major surprise. He needs to stay in. Cunningham has been above average. How he always pulls rabbits out of his hat. Yeah, I can't blame Morrow for any of the struggles on points given up. I'm sorry, Mister. I can't do that. Having 11 tackles, having 3 sacks. I mean, that's a solid game. Him and Zach Cunningham seem to have a very good rapport back there in the linebacker core. And you clean up some of these secondary issues at cornerback, slot cornerback, and at safety, and all of a sudden this team's not giving up 31 points, 34 points, whatever it is. Linebackers and safeties have to look alive. The linebackers have, it's the safeties that haven't. You fool around with Tua, you will find out. Well, that's why I said it was so important for the Eagles to bring somebody in now. So when we get to the tougher part of the schedule, these guys are ready to go. Ready to go. It's what's important. Yes, technically 31, not 34. I'm not going to crush Mista for that. I fear for Tua's health. Remember last year he was throwing up gang signs. Look, that's still a few weeks away too. But yeah, the way we get after a quarterback, and it's only getting better. We've said it before with Tua and the Dolphins. When we've talked about the Dolphins in general speaking terms, that I don't think I will ever, for the rest of his career, not worry about him getting hurt. Like if I was a friend or a family member of Tua last year after his 400th concussion, I would have told him, dude, you might want to consider hanging it up. I know you love football, but there's more to life than just football. Your health and well-being is important. And I fear. I mean, Tua's, you know what? Tua is an exciting football player. He's an exciting athlete, an exciting young man. I don't want to see somebody like him get hurt and have their career cut short, their life cut short, have debilitating injuries for the rest of their life. You know, I do. I worry about him. And I will never not worry about him for the rest of his career. Even if he never gets it, next 5 years, he can stay healthy. I'd still be worried because at any moment it can come back. Why does this team play off coverage so much? Why? Because you got to, it's the style that the Sean Desai likes to play. Everyone assumed that getting rid of Jonathan Gannon was going to make this defense so much more aggressive, so much more different. And I try to tell people, you got a disciple of Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is the most conservative defensive coordinator in the last 3,000 years in NFL. But they thought it was going to be different because he was gonna blitz more. Well, he's not going to blitz more. This is the personnel. This is the team that Howie Roseman gave Sean Desai. And you'd like to see some press coverage, but that's not the style they play. It's not just been with John. I mean, they played the same style of defense under Jim Schwartz, too. You got to remember, Howie Roseman plays a factor in some of the schemes that happen around here, who he brings in and what he wants. So there's some of Howie Roseman. You think about it, we've just gone through 3 straight defensive coordinators that love sticks defense. Wonder why. Just saying. And there's something to it. I mean, we played off last year and we got to the Super Bowl. It's a bend, don't break style. We don't like it. It's not as exciting as it was in the 90s, but it's the style that they run. And big picture, it kind of is successful. We are 4-0. Just saying. The middle linebacker calls the plays in the huddle and calls the audibles. When has a Ray Lewis defense ever gave up? Dude, missed it. Are we trying? Did I make you think that Nicholas Morrow was Ray Lewis the way I praised him? I mean, you're talking about Ray Lewis, arguably one of the best linebackers of all time. And all I did was say that he's played well, Nicholas Morrow. Well enough, better than what we saw in that brief one game from the Kobe Dean. I think you're like I'm always told. My wife always tells me I exaggerate too much. Oh, my back hurts. It probably doesn't hurt that bad, she says. Says I exaggerate. Well, you're exaggerating here a little bit by trying to compare Nicholas Morrow to Ray Lewis. I mean, let's be honest. Come on now. Network sucks, but I made it. Drew, good morning, my man. How are you today? Big Play Slay has a podcast, and he explains why they aren't playing press coverage. Ty, I appreciate that comment. I haven't listened to it. If you want to give me a quick description in the comments on, a paraphrase what he says, I would love to hear it. So put that in the comments, and I'll put it up right away. Get Dallas more involved by Miami. Dallas Goedert does need to be more involved for sure. So Fangio's schemes is conservative, so that there are more players in the perimeter for pass coverage. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a defensive mastermind. We don't see Eli and Ringo in the rotation. Instead, it's Joby and Goodrich. If we can't sign no one, great. Why keep them? Yeah, I mean, this is something, Travis. This is something I was wondering. Obviously, we saw Joby wasn't it. They still kept going to him last week. I'm surprised we haven't seen any Eli, Ricks, or Kellen Ringo yet this year. Really, at this point, I would have figured we would have seen them. Something they're doing in practice just tells me that must tell the coaches that they're not ready. There's got to be something going on that says that they're not ready based off of the lack of usage. That's all there is to it. Dean can't even stay healthy, and we are complaining about Morrow's play. Yeah, Nakobe Dean's an injury history in college, now this year. So, you can't trust Nakobe Dean. Then Nicholas Morrow's doing a damn good job filling in. Remember, Nicholas Morrow was on the practice squad. He was cut from the 53. He got cut for Christian. They kept 3 linebackers originally because they just didn't have any faith in Morrow. So I think it's okay to give Nicholas Morrow, a little love. Shout out to Missing. We always shout her out. I bet you would put Nick Morrow number 1 on the linebacker power rankings, though. Maybe number 2. Maybe number 2. Come on now. Peanut. Get out. At Ty, Slade did explain. He said once he forgot down and distance. Also, they play off coverage in 2-minute drill to keep plays in front and inbounds. Yeah, I mean, and I get that. And I get it. But there was a play last week where they played, off ball coverage like that, and they were lined up 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, but the first down marker was at 6 yards. So the timing of it there was a little questionable. But I get it. It's a bend don't break style. You get great pass rush, and you keep the ball in front of you, and that's it. And then you keep them out of the end zone. That's how you win games. You win games by keeping your opponents out of the end zone, not by how many yards you give up. Drew got it. Drew knows. Yes, absolutely. Drew's a smart man. I mean, Sydney hasn't been healthy either, but no one has that same energy as they do, Nakobe. Look, Sidney Brown, I've seen a lot of people saying if he's healthy, get him in the slot. I don't know about that personally. I've seen some people say that he could probably play the slot too. But I'd like to see more Sidney Brown if he's healthy. I'd like to see more Ringo and Ricks outside of Joby and Goodrich because they're not doing anything. It's interesting. An interesting way to think about all that right there because, yeah. But Bradley Roby, is going to make some of these decisions easier. I'm curious to see if he'll be ready to play this week. I'm not sure if he was in another team's training camp or not, so I don't know how, physically ready. They put him on the practice squad to start. You can only call up 2 guys. You got, Britton Covey. You're going to need to call someone up to replace him if he's still on concussion protocol this week. You still got to call up Brandon Mann as one of your 2 guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Robbie, if he's ready or not, right out of the gate. And if you even trust a guy right out of the gate like that or not. But we'll have our answer pretty soon on that one. Hard to play quarterback when Marlowe sacks you 3 times. It's not Marlowe. Marlowe is the dude from The Wire, just so you know. I think they definitely get JB out of the slot. Oh, that is exactly why you signed Bradley Roby, Drew. Without a shadow of a doubt, the reason why you signed him is to get James Bradbury back outside. It helps Darius Slay as well. So, it's a very smart move. It's not the name everybody wanted, but it's a very, very smart move bringing in Bradley Roby. Now, the thing is, just how long is it? Marlowe, great. The Wire was a great show in general. Definitely one of the top 3 shows of all time, without a shadow of a doubt. We're still stuck on 16 likes on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button if you're watching. We're up to 9 on Facebook, which is great, fantastic. Muchas gracias there on that one, but keep liking, keep sharing. I greatly appreciate it. We're gonna get into Phillies and Sixers here in a little bit. But final thoughts on this Eagles right now. It's a very solid move, but I would really like to see another move made immediately. Another safety move. Justin Evans, he can go. We still got to worry about Sidney Brown. Terrell Edmonds has not played well. Um, what do we say here, Drew? I think the team just has some issues situationally. I don't think it's as bad as people make it to be. Drew, you missed the first 30 minutes of the show where we were talking about why I have the Eagles in the number 1 spot in my power rankings. That we're 4-0. So there's no room to be down on this team. We can question certain aspects of it, but it's near impossible to go 4-0 in the NFL. Hence why there's only 2 teams. So people need to pump the brakes on the freaking out. They really do. And realize 4-0 is 4-0. Is week 5 the time to be playing on the same page? Because they keep on saying they're not playing their best football. Keep winging it, Eagles, and all these good teams beat us. Look, they haven't played a complete game yet, which you can look at it that way, like you're looking at it, Travis, that they haven't played a great game yet, and that someone's eventually going to beat us. Or you can look at it at the other end of the spectrum, that we haven't played our best game yet. Once it does click, we're going to be even more unstoppable. There's 2 different ends of the equation there, the way to look at that. I'm trying to keep my mind on the side that we haven't played our best football yet, so we could be even better. We could beat the Bills, the Dolphins, the Chiefs if we play our best football. There's a lot of communication. They're not on the same page. There's a lot of hiccups going on throughout the. Just think about it. As many question marks as there are, they're still 4-0. But like I said at the beginning of the show, I was breaking down last year. There were questionable things. Week 1 last year against Detroit, we barely won. Week 4 against Jacksonville, a lot of questionable things. Week 5 against Arizona, they were better than this year on the road in Arizona, mind you. Took a last-minute field goal to win that game. In Indy, 17-16, Pittsburgh, Houston. We barely beat Houston last year. There were communication issues. There were issues, period, last year. But you know what it is? We still found ways to win. And last year, I was doing a live show every morning on a different network last year, and there was a lot less negativity around this team's barely winning games. This year, we're barely winning games. Oh, it's not a problem. You got to look at it that it's tough to win in the NFL. Even going 14-3, like the Eagles did last year, is extremely, extremely difficult to do. That's why very few teams win that. That's why 10, 11 wins get you in the playoffs every year. It's very hard to win week in and week out in the NFL. And the Eagles are 4-0. Got to give them credit for it. Justin Evans was playing pretty good. I don't rewatch film, Drew, but I didn't think he was playing that good. That was my vibe on it. I didn't think he was playing that good. Look. Do I have doubts? Sure, I have doubts. But I'm looking at what I've seen so far and saying that they've beaten 4 teams, several very good teams, plain and simple. That's the point I would lean into. Eagles have not played up to their potential. Exactly. And if they play up to their potential, watch out. Watch out if they play to their potential. Look, it's an opinion. It's not a fact. It's an opinion. But I think it's an opinion that more people need to lean into, because at this point, we're 4-0. I keep going back and saying, but we're 4-0. And there's a reason why I say that. The Eagles' best football really did come in the playoffs, though. So, yeah. Yeah, we didn't get really good till the end of the season in the playoffs. Yeah, exactly. Look. Are there issues with this team? Sure. Secondary? Sure. Has Jalen Hurts been perfect? No, actually, though, through 4 weeks, his numbers are actually a lot eerily similar Let me pull up something here real quick. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. EOP, they tweet way too much. But let me see if I can find it. I don't even know if this is who posted it or not. I saw a stat sheet put up comparing Hurts week 1. Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna put this picture up on the screen real quick, guys. This is from Edge of Philly, Deebs and crew over there, Pat Bernard. I was on their post-game show a few times this year. 2022 versus 2023, Jalen Hurts. He's got less passing yards by 150 yards over 4 games, so like 40 yards a game less. He's got more touchdowns, 1 more interception, higher completion percentage. Quarterback rating a little bit different. Rushing yards are a little down, 69, 70 yards over 4 games, 1 less touchdown. So he's got same amount of touchdowns overall, 1 more interception, few less yards. But Jalen Hurts is having a bad year. I mean, these numbers are not bad. Not at all. So I'm not sure why we're so concerned. Oh, I had that on wrong. I hope you guys could have seen that. There we go. Now it's a little bigger. Um, this is legit. And shout out to Edge of Philly for putting this graphic together. I'm stealing it from them. Sorry, guys. Had to steal your work there. Because 2 years ago I was watching Hurts okay could be serviceable. Last year he BIW up. I don't even know what BIW up means, but I get what you're saying. I understand you to an extent. I was saying facts about last year. Okay, gotcha. Exactly. People were so high on this team last year when they were barely winning games. Yet this year, they're barely winning games, and it's a problem. Why the double standard? Because we made the Super Bowl last year, so you set undue expectations. Dude, we went to the Super Bowl last year, and whenever we're recapping last year, what did we do? We looked at the overall record and the fact that they got to the Super Bowl and individual performances. We didn't go back and say we made the Super Bowl, but we almost lost to the Colts. Did we ever say that? No. We talked about we went 14-3 and made it to the Super Bowl last year, and that this team's going to go back again this year, hopefully. That's it. Blew up. I don't even know what blew up means. Last year, blew up. Okay, so that was supposed to say blew up at the end. I got you, man. Chatter. Look, sometimes your lingo, I don't get it. Did the change of offensive coordinator stunt the growth of Hurts? I'm not saying he regressed, but he isn't taking a huge leap forward. Well, first and foremost, Peanut, addressing the second part of your comment there, the huge leap forward. It's impossible to imagine Jalen Hurts taking a similar jump distance-wise last year as he did last year this year. I said if he stayed the same, that would be progress. If he took a slight drop back, that would be progress. Because that was one of the greatest seasons in NFL history for a quarterback. It was the greatest leap we've ever seen from a quarterback in the NFL. Has the change in offensive coordinator stunted him? I don't know if I want to use the word stunt, Peanut. I hate the word stunted his growth. I just don't like that word. What I'll say is, and I've said it before, is that everyone just assumed that Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach that has known Jalen Hurts since he was in diapers, was instantly going to connect, and there's going to be no problem. And I kept saying, that doesn't mean anything. Brian Johnson, the offensive coordinator, is not as good as Brian Johnson, the quarterback coach, through 4 weeks. And it is one of the question marks right now. You know, I forget the guy's name. It begins with a P. The new quarterback's coach. There's a difference there. There is definitely a communication issue on what they want to do offensively and what Jalen Hurts wants to do offensively. There's a communication issue on a lot of things right now. But guess what? We're still 4-0. So that's all that matters. What's up, K1? You missed all the Eagles talk. We're about to start talking Sixers and Phillies now. We're going to start the final 25 minutes of the show bringing in other topics. You missed all the fun stuff. But again, I missed my 9 o'clock reset. It's 9:04 here on Trending on the Trending in the AM on Philadelphia Sports Network. I'm Phil Stiefel. Got 17 likes on YouTube, 9 on Facebook. Pound that like button, share button, retweet, follow, subscribe. Whatever buttons you can hit them. It's free to do it. Doesn't cost you a thing. I greatly appreciate it. Helps the algorithm out. We're talking Eagles. We're talking power rankings. We're going to get into a little bit of Sixers talk here. We're going to get into a little bit of Phillies talk here. And I started out the show talking about the Phillies fans and how they showed up last night in Philadelphia. on the national stage, ESPN 8 o'clock game, first night primetime playoff game of the playoffs for baseball, and you got Philly showing up. You got other playoff games that didn't sell out. You got other playoff games in baseball where tickets on secondary markets were going for $7. Yet you got 45,000 plus standing and cheering in unison for those fighting Phils. And it's fantastic. Fantastic. You've got James Harden threatening to show up today and cause a scene. It's not just that he's going to be a distraction. I'm pretty sure there was a quote somewhere that James Harden plans on causing a scene. I don't even know what causing a scene is. Is he going to show up but not actually go in and stand outside and sign autographs and have a little dance party with his Instagram models? Pull like a little Pete Rose? Which, on a side note, I made a joke last night. I got to call out somebody. I'm not going to say their name. But there's a couple of people. I made a joke last night. Everybody was wondering who was going to throw the first pitch out for the Phillies. Turned out to be Rhys Hoskins. It's a great story, his recovery, and the fact that he might be back from ACL injury by the World Series. Huge. Rhys Hoskins is a leader of this Phillies team. But everybody was wondering who it was going to be. So I made a joke that it was going to be either A, Jake Elliott, B, Pete Rose, or 3, James Harden. And somebody responded to, well, Pete Rose isn't allowed in a baseball, and James Harden was flying to Colorado, and Jake Elliott had practice. Like, guys, do people really think that I was serious in saying that Pete Rose or James Harden were going to throw out the first pitch? Like, seriously. Did people really believe me when I made that joke? Like, I think I'm a pretty sarcastic SOB. How anybody could believe me in that, I have no idea. Let's get back to the comments here. A lot of word cab can you hit by auto algorithm by link. I don't know what you're again. I don't get what you're saying there. Goddard's your favorite player minus Smith. Goddard is not my favorite player. I love Dallas Goddard. I love Devontae Smith even more. Devontae Smith is my man, without a shadow of a doubt. Facebook don't always count their check content. I don't know. Thank you very much, Mister. Greatly appreciate it. Jalen Hurts is 25 in his second season as a full-time starter. He's not in his prime yet. Yeah, exactly. There's going to be ups and downs. And the change of coordinators, and with great success comes constant change in coordinators. It's just always going to happen. And, it's up to the Eagles to figure it out. Brian Johnson is obviously somebody that's very highly, highly respected around the league because there was talk that he was going to be in a head coach sooner rather than later, Brian Johnson. But we got to understand that some of Jalen Hurts' success possibly did come from Shane Steichen. And Shane Steichen's got the Colts playing well right now. So there's something to be said there. But Jalen Hurts, he was never going to take the same, like from 2021 to 2022. It is one of the greatest jumps that I'm 42, almost 43. One of the greatest jumps I've ever seen from a football player or athlete, period, in Philadelphia. I don't remember an athlete in Philly taking that big of a leap. I hope to see Tyrese Maxey take that leap this year with the Sixers, but that was a massive jump. And the fact he's only 25, I mean, he's going to be great for a very long time. Get off work at 7 a.m. and you come in clutch with all the early morning updates talk. Hey, Jason, I greatly appreciate you, Jason Williams. I greatly do. Tell all your friends, man. This is the best morning show there is in the business. Everybody complains, Jason, about what's on the radio. You can just plug this into your car on your ride to work. You can be like Man Chatter, have it on in the background while you're working at work. This is, you don't need to complain about the dial. You could just watch this instead. Harden bringing the scooter. I don't know what Harden's bringing, but I really want to know what people think. What does cause a distraction actually mean? Like, I really have no idea. Like, he's going to cause a distraction, but what is it? Like, I'm intrigued. I want to know what he's going to do today when he shows up. What's Colorado? 2 hours ahead of us or behind us? So it's 7:09 in Colorado right now, right? Or is it 6:09? I don't know if they're on Central or Pacific time, honestly. But man, when they practice today, man, I'm gonna be sitting by my phone nonstop, hoping to see whatever the hell happens. Welcome to my world, Phil. Your world? I don't want to know what's going on in your world. Certain word in chat, not good. Oh, gotcha. I don't know. I just know the more comments that happen in the chat help, and the more likes that happen help, and the more the shares help, and obviously the super chats are greatly appreciated. Without them, I couldn't pay for the program to run this every single day. So shout out to Mr. today. being our super chat. And it wasn't $5, guys, so I don't have to give you overtime. I've already given you 30, an hour and 30 instead of an hour 15. I'm just kidding. But anyway, Sixers, Phillies. Let's transition a little bit because we got this great Eagles culture. We got this great Eagles team riding high. The Phillies putting out a great representation of the city last night. And again, big game for Aaron Nola tonight. Zach Wheeler, I put out a tweet right before the game, but right before the show started. And I want to see if I can find it quickly here. But I tweet way too much, just so you know. But I don't want to lose my spot there. I'm going to go here. So, Zach Wheeler's last 3 game 1 starts for the Phillies. Last year in the wild card round, 6 1/3, no runs. Last year in the NLCS, 7 innings, no runs. Last night, 6 2/3, 2 runs. That's 20 innings, 8 hits, and 2 runs. Talk about big game pitching from Zach Wheeler. Guy that's making a lot of money here in Philadelphia. Coming up huge in another big game last night. Keeping the bullpen clean for other parts of the time. Where is this hostility coming from? I want to suplex Phil onto the table sometime. Look, what did I do? You don't need to suplex me. My back can't handle a suplex. First off, my back can't handle going through a table. Not at all. So I don't know. I don't know where this hostility is coming from, K1. I don't think my back can handle it. That super chat, $500 super chat, won't cover the surgery on my back when I go through a table. I'm just gonna say, without a doubt. No, it's not happening, man. No way I can make that happen. 0 chance. Anyway, big game from Zach Wheeler last night. Big game from Alec Bohm. Bryson Stott had some good plays. Bryce Harper got a big hit. Dusty Watt tried to blow the game for the Phillies, holding Schwarber, sending Castellanos. Bryce Harper just running right through the stop sign to score the 4th run, which was important. Alvarado, Hoffman, Craig Kimbrell, all big. So it comes down to tonight. Aaron Nola. Can Aaron Nola do it? Look, we're going to face another tough pitcher tonight. I don't have the box score for tonight up yet. Give me a second. I'm gonna bring up his information tonight and see what we got here. Braxton Garnett. Let's see Braxton's numbers. Another lefty pitcher, 9-7 on the year, 156 strikeouts, 3.60 ERA, 1.15 WHIP. Got to see how he did against the Phillies this year. That's the key. What happened against the Phillies this year? So he pitched August 2nd against the Phillies, went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs. They beat us in extra innings that game. They beat us on July 8th when he pitched 5-3. He went 5 innings there, 3 runs there. Was that the only 2 times he faced the Phillies? Yeah. So he pitched against us twice, gave up 3 runs twice. Why only 3 games in a series? It's the wild card round, Man Chatter. When they added the extra wild card team a couple years back, this is the thing. You got the 3 wild card teams going, and the lowest division winner, best of 3 series. All 3 games are at home for the higher. So all 3 games, if it went 3 games, are in Philly, Man Chatter. It's just the new style they do with the extra teams involved in the playoffs. So that's why it's tough. It's tough to win. But you look at it last night. And two of the 4 games, the road team won. So the home field advantage, it's a short series. The home field advantage matters, but it doesn't also. So it's a very tough thing to play in, for sure. So I'm really excited about tonight's Phillies game. I'm really excited to see what Aaron Nola does tonight, and if he matches Zach Wheeler, big game pitching, because it's very important that he does. Living my best life, Buffalo Wild Wings, new sauces, dude. Man Chatter, if you're going to Buffalo Wild Wings, we're gonna leave this comment up on the screen for a few minutes, dude. Buffalo Wild Wings. You can't get better wings anywhere else than Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, no offense, they suck. It's like going to Applebee's, but with a buffalo wing name. There's got to be a better place near you, Man Chatter, that'll show the baseball game other than Buffalo Wild. I think everybody in the comment section needs to go on Google and find Man Chatter something closer to his house than Buffalo Wild Wings. What a sad commentary. What, that I'm crushing Buffalo Wild Wings? Buffalo Wild Wings sucks. Any bar has better wings. Absolutely. Any pizza shop has better wings. Anything has better wings. I don't know about you, but I've had some awful wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. I have gone before. I mean, they've got a great beer selection. The one by us shows the UFC fights. So when I used to go out late, I don't go out late anymore. Used to go to watch the UFC fights. No, the TMC choices and wings, dude. I mean, that's pathetic, isn't it? I mean, BOGO Tuesday. I don't care. I'd rather not get BOGO wings than go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'd rather pay full price than go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm just saying, man. I mean, BOGO or not. I mean, that's no offense, man, Chatter. It's amateur hour. I know you're going to want to suplex me again, but I'm going to fight out the suplex and suplex you. I'm going to suplex you through the bar at Buffalo Wild Wings for saying that's where you go. You gotta do better than that, man, Chatter. Gotta do better than that. Gotta do better. Gotta do better. Back to the Sixers a little bit. Because, we've got all this positivity swirling around Philadelphia right now. There's so much of it. The Eagles, the Phillies. The Phillies just, the positivity is great, but the great representation of our city on ESPN last night, even though ESPN tried to do whatever they could to ruin our reputation at any moment's notice, all this positivity and all this good, representation, and you got this Sixers situation looming still, and you got this James Harden situation looming, and it's bringing the vibes of the city down. And I get the theory of Daryl Morey wanting to hold out for the best possible deal, even if it takes all year. But is there anything in anybody that says they just want to get rid of James Harden for a bag of balls, don't care what it is, just to move on? Even if it means taking a step back. I wonder if Daryl Morey went to Joel Embiid and said, do you want me to hold out for the best possible deal for another star or borderline star? Or would you like me just to get it over with and get it done with, what Joel Embiid would say? I wonder what Joel Embiid would say about it. Because Joel Embiid can't want to deal with this drama every single day. But on the flip side, Joel Embiid wants to win a title. And he knows he needs to get something out of James Harden, whether on the court or in a trade, to have a chance at that title. I'm really curious what Joel Embiid would say to that. And honestly, I don't think he would shy away from just saying, move on. Get it over with. Get the drama out of my city. I'm okay with my decision to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Having a rough hump day, am I right? Yeah. Me and TMC are having a little bit of a back and forth. I don't have a Fox's Pizza Den on Sheridan Drive. No, you do not. No. Joel needs to shut Harden down. Show everyone he's not just an MVP, but also a leader, and it's his team. Yes. But how do you do that, Nick? I mean, James Harden, I mean, he's going to cause a scene. I just foresee this thing. Like when the report came out that he said he's going to cause a scene and show up, like he doesn't do sit-ups. But I'm just thinking of Terrell Owens doing sit-ups in his driveway. So I'm like, James Harden's going to roll up with like a Winnebago out front and have a party, dancing and popping, Instagram models dancing all out in front of the practice and not actually go into practice. Or he's going to have reporters meet him at the closest strip club to practice. Like, I don't get, how do you shut him down? That's what I'm asking. Because he's going to be a distraction as long as he has next to his name, under his bio, Philadelphia 76ers, he's going to be a distraction. It's really, literally, get your popcorn ready. Duff's is greater than the Anchor Bar. I don't know what they are, but I'm guessing they're bars by your house. Joel needs to shut TMC down. Cilio, too. Yeah, that's funny. Someday, Dan Cilio will be on this screen right here next to my face. Actually, I think it'll be on this side, since I'm the host. But can't wait for that day. Can't wait for it. I saw even Rays on at 2 p.m. and no one went. No one cared. Philly, you would never have that happen. You would never have a Phillies game half empty in the playoffs. Zero chance of it. Zero chance. But James Harden, like, I mean, I get wanting to get a package, wanting to get another star. I do. But, I mean, the Clippers want him. Obviously, why the Clippers would want James Harden at this point, I don't know. Unless it's Kawhi and PG demanding that he comes there. But realistically speaking, like, why would they even want him? So if they're willing to offer us Norman Powell and Robert Covington or whoever, and they don't want to give up Terrence Mann, I don't care. Isn't there an argument to be made? Just make the deal. Get a couple more role players, expiring contracts. You get through this year. You still have the MVP. You still got Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris is still here at this point. You just get the job done. Yes, the Bucks and the Celtics are the two best teams, hands down, in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. But teams 3 through 7, it could go any way. And once you get to the playoffs, as long as you're the healthy team, who knows what happens in the playoffs? We've seen last year the Lakers made a run to the Western Conference Finals as a back end seed. The Heat were the 6 or 7 seed, and they made it to the finals. So it doesn't mean anything. They kind of rendered the regular season useless. Get depth, stay healthy, develop this team, turn Tyrese Maxey into the superstar that he can be, and let's see what happens. Just get on. Once you get rid of James Harden, everything becomes about basketball. Right now, nothing is about basketball. Everything's about James Harden. So I get both sides of the equation, but at this point, I tend to lean towards just get it over with. Move on. I kind of feel like that. And today, depending on what this scene is that he's going to cause, today might be part of that. Might push Daryl Morey into that direction, which is giving into James Harden. I get it. I think that's up to Joel. Lock the doors and give him the finger wag. No, 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 no. Yeah, I love the finger wag. I hear Nick Nurse is high energy with a fast-paced mindset. We'll finally get to see him beat in great shape. And miss that. That's why I absolutely love the Colorado camp for the first 4 or 5 days. And that thin air gets guys in shape and stuff like that. But then you hear Nick Nurse talking after practice again, and this is why I want everything shut down with James Harden, because they're leaving a room open for it to be discussed every day. And Nick Nurse was asked after practice yesterday, "Oh, we hear that James Harden might be here tomorrow." And Nick Nurse is like, "Well, if he does show up, I guess we'll have to change things in practice." So, like, Nick Nurse already knows if he's got James Harden, he's got one game plan. If he doesn't have James Harden, he's got to have another game plan for practice. And everything you worked on yesterday without James Harden changes today with James Harden. You have a different team, different offense, different defense, everything. I just kind of want the drama over. That way you can focus on one thing, and that's basketball. Because that's what it's all here about. If you don't know Anchor Bar, creator of Buffalo Wing, they like not knowing Pats. All right, well, sorry. I don't know. Don't get the Buffalo too often. Did you know buffalo wings don't come from buffaloes, actually? Learn something new every day. No lie, I had a customer complain once because there was chicken in their buffalo wings, and they thought they were getting buffalo meat. No lie. That happened once at the pizza shop. I had to explain it. How to tell people that buffalo wings are not made from buffaloes. Patch yells at me to hurry. I don't need this. They say I don't need you. Gotcha. Gotcha. Buffaloes don't have wings. True stories. True story. It's a true story that someone called my pizza shop wanted to know why their wings were not made from buffaloes. And they weren't high. They weren't out of control. They literally, legitly thought that. This is not a joke. It's 110% true story. The things you get asked at a pizza shop. Insane. 1,000% serious. John Hennick, Streamies. Yes, I was going to send that to him. I'm going to send him the link, William, after the show. That's what I use for everything. Everything. It's the best way to go. Can't say I'm surprised. Worked in restaurants for 10 years. Nick, I have been in a restaurant business now. Got my first job washing dishes at a pizza shop when I was 14. Shout out Pizza Peddler in Westchester. Shout out Ron for giving me my first job. Ron might listen to a minute or two of the show every randomly so often. Luke might as well. Um, 14 then when I started. 42 going on 43. I spent a year and a half on a cruise ship. The rest of my life has been in a pizza shop. Other than the 2 weeks I worked for Enterprise Rent a Car, that was the worst job I ever had in my life, and it's the only time I quit a job after 2 weeks. Bro, this show's Giga. Thank you. Thank you, Peanut. I appreciate it. Comments like that. Like I put a lot of work in, and I'm so grateful to be here on Philadelphia Sports Network. But it's a long grind, and I want to give a shout out to my man El Parcero JP, the new All Philly Sports show or channel. That's dominating Philly media right now, stealing a lot of big names. I mean, we're talking big names and big money going out to a lot of guys. And Parcero is a guy I've been working with for years now, with his union coverage, other sports coverage, and and El Parcero got picked up by All Philly Sports. It shows that the grind is worth it. That people do recognize hard work. And I can't. I'm so happy for my man El Parcero. We'll get him on the show soon again, talking Union sports. Give us a little playoff Union update. But I got to give him a mad shout out for getting um, basically to the top of what we do here in the content creation. So I got to give him a shout out for that big time here. Phil is the goat with the yeah, dude. Look, I appreciate all these kind words, guys. I really do. I really do. It's a grind doing this every day. Tell a story of rent a car. It was the most. So it was the first job I had after cruise ships. So I went from DJing and partying on a cruise ship for 2 years, year and a half, to sitting in an office pushing pencils and paper. Um, the office I was in had mold growing on it, and Enterprise Rent a Car did not want to do anything about it. There was actual mold on the walls in the office. It was I had to get dressed up. I had to shave my facial hair because you're not allowed facial hair. I don't know if it's still like this now, but you couldn't even have stripes in your shirt. I had to wear a shirt and tie. They had to be a plain colored shirt, plain colored tie. So conservative. Hated it. Hated it. Hated it. Peanut's always represented. I love Peanut, man. He's the best. I have faith in Nola tonight. I think the bats need to start getting hot so we can get in a roll. Well, look, Nick, the bats left a lot on. We left a couple runs out there. How you get the first two runners of the game on, and then don't get one of them home. You know, gotta get more runs. Got to keep the offense firing. Nola is the key, though. Nola is the key, without a doubt. And I have faith that Nola will get the job done. I don't see Nola giving up 7 runs or anything like that. I mean, the Marlins are not that great of a team. Let's be honest. They're missing their 2 best pitchers. Their cleanup hitter was bunting with runners on base yesterday, and poorly bunting. I mean, I have faith that the Phillies get the job done tonight. Then that puts us with Ranger Suarez starting game 1 of the NLDS and Zach Wheeler for game 2, Aaron Nola for game 3. I mean, it's perfect. Sets up perfect for the next series if we get the job done tonight. So I think they do get it done tonight. I mean, we only got a couple minutes left in the show. We're at 9:28 already. I'm just going to say it. I think the Bats I had 7-3 yesterday. It was a 3-1 win. I'm going to go with the same score tonight. I'm going to say 7-3. I say the offense gets a few runs. And maybe they pull in somebody, the back the back of the bullpen guys, maybe give up a couple runs later in the game, let it get a little closer. But I've got all the confidence in the world. Phillies win 7-3 tonight. I'm going to go with Alec Bohm again with a big game. Alec Bohm is going to go 2 for 4 tonight and drive in a couple runs tonight, without a doubt. That's my prediction tonight. 2 RBIs, 2 for 4 from Alec Bohm. Aaron Nola's going to go 6 or 7 innings, give up 1 or 2 runs. We get this game done tonight. We get this series wrapped up. Moving on to the next round, man. That's why I want a new World Series shirt. Want a new World Series shirt. The price rent a car was terrible. All right. So let's start this wrap-up process so slowly. I did get a $4.99 super chat, not a $5 super chat. So I only got to give you 4.99 minutes of overtime today. We know how many teams still alive. Well, there's 4. There's 14 teams. Nobody's been eliminated yet. So, so 14 teams are in the playoffs. So all 14 teams are still there. This has been a great show today, guys. It really has been. I think tomorrow we'll continue this conversation on the 2022 versus 2023 Eagles when there's not as much of a difference, but yet everybody's acting different. Okay. I didn't get into my Jake from State Farm jokes today. Damn. Oh man. Oh, we'll save them for tomorrow as well. We'll have to talk tomorrow about the Phillies game again, how they do. We'll have to see if James Harden is just full of talk or actually shows up and causes a scene. I have a feeling if he does cause a scene, that might be the lead off topic tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're going to find out tomorrow about that. But I think the Eagles conversation tomorrow is going to go 2022 versus 2023 as well, and that part of the topic. I mean, the power rankings are what they are. The Eagles are number one in the power rankings because they're 4-0. If you want to put the 49ers in number one, sure. Eagles, 49ers. But anybody that's putting the Chiefs and Bills ahead of them aren't noticing that the Eagles are 4-0. And the fact, I'm going to call them out one final time, the fact that Peanut has the Cowboys tied with the Eagles at 5th on his list is ridiculous. Harden coming to Phillies field. Look, I joked about it last night, and people thought I was serious that he was going to throw out the first pitch. Idiot. Please, no Moss Harden. Dude, and that you didn't answer it. Would you just rather them get rid of him for anything just to move on? And we'll continue that conversation tomorrow. Think of your answer for that, K1, because we'll get into that tomorrow. That's right, Kyle. Ring that bell. 7-3. Phillies win tonight. That's what I got. Get your popcorn ready for the Phillies, for James Harden, for this show. For it all. He was bringing some suspect ladies. Dude. That video from his party. Ridiculous. I'm telling you, he's going to show up today for practice, and he's going to pull his hamstring and say, can't practice. My hammy's bad. I would set it at minus 500 odds that he shows up and has a hamstring issue within 30 seconds. I guarantee it. Minus 500 odds that's what it is. Bet 500 to win 100. That's the way it's going to go, without a doubt. We got 20 likes on YouTube. We got 9 likes on Facebook. Guys, even if you're watching this on replay, all of it helps. Share, subscribe, follow, like. Drop your comments. I do go back and check comments. The few that come in on replay, I do check them. And I try to respond to them all. I greatly appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @BeardedKnowledge. I post a lot of stuff. This has been a lot of fun today. K1, it's been a good show. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, this 90 minutes, we're an hour and we're at 92 minutes here. Flown right on by. This whole week is going to be 90-minute shows, it seems like. Maybe if the Phillies win tonight, I don't have to go 90 minutes every day this week. But if there's a Phillies game on Thursday, then yeah, obviously it'll be 90 minutes every day this week. But man, 92 minutes just flew on by. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I greatly appreciate all the support of this show. I greatly appreciate Philadelphia Sports Network, Liam, for giving me the opportunity to be here. And I greatly appreciate, again, shout out to JP, El Parcero, for kicking ass for 4 years and getting his big moment in the sun yesterday. It was very, very encouraging. It gives me more motivation to be even better. So we're going to wrap it up right there. A 93-minute show, possibly the longest show we've ever done here at Trending in the AM. Borderline, give or take a few moments there. Everybody have a great Wednesday. It's the warm weather we're having this week, it ain't going to last much longer. Starting this weekend, it's going to get cool, and that's it. Summer's over after today and tomorrow. So we're going to wrap it up. Can we get a yeah? Yeah, it's been a great show. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, for Philadelphia Sports Network, I am Phil Stiefel. Everybody have a great day. It is Go Birds always, but also it's ring that damn bell, people. Go Phillies. Let's get this wrapped up tonight. Hey, everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.